All right, chapter 4.4. Factoring your coefficient is not 1. The very first thing you need to figure out is how to find your GCF. We talked about GCF a little bit yesterday, but now I'm going to show you how to find it numerically. The GCF is the largest number that is in each number divisible by that number. Yes? The GCF cannot be larger than the smallest number. Trey. Do you have $5? How much money do you have on you? Can I borrow $1 then? Why? So since you have no money, you cannot give me any money. Is this true? Now, with that being said, he cannot give me what he does not have. So if I want the GCF between 16 and 24, it cannot be larger than the smallest number up there, which is 16. Do we all understand that? Because it cannot give more than 16. Do you get that? Yes or no? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the factors of 16. So that's 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. And you're going to simply find the largest number there. The largest number is 16. Is 16 go into 24 evenly? Yes or no? No, mark that off. Does 8 go into 24 evenly? Yes, that is your GCF. There's no factor trees or anything like you used to do in grade school and in junior high. Do you remember the factor trees that you had to do back in the day? If you go this route, you're good to go. Any questions over that? Okay. Now, when you pull out your GCF, the operation that you are doing is division. When I say this to you in class, I'm probably going to give you a hint to say, go fish. Go fish means pull out the GCF that is in common between both or all terms. Do we all understand that? You can have a numerical GCF or a variable GCF. What's it mean to be a variable? What's a variable? A letter representing something, okay? So the very first example that I'm going to give you is going to be 3a squared plus 9. Yesterday we talked about the word irreducible, and irreducible means I cannot factor down into two binomials any further. You all understand that? So 3a squared plus 9. 3a squared plus 9, there are two terms there, 3a squared and 9. Numerically, you're going to find the smallest number. The smallest number up there is what? 3. Does 3 go into the number 9? Yes. Now, do both terms, the terms being 3a squared and the other term being 9, do they both have an a in them? Since they both do not have an a, you can only have a GCF of a 3. So if I pull out the GCF of 3, I'm doing this by division. So what is 3a squared divided by 3? A squared. What is 9 divided by 3? Now, can I factor into two binomials a squared plus 3? Why do you say no? The factors of 3 are 3 and 1. And in order to use the factors of 3, which are 3 and 1, I have to get the middle term, which the middle term is non-existent. So what number would represent non-existent? 0. So is the numbers 3 and 1 ever going to add or subtract to give you the number 0? No. So this is irreducible from this point on. Do we understand that? Yes or no? Okay, the next problem. 25b squared minus 20b. Now, what number goes into both 20 and 25? What is the largest number, okay? It is 5. So we know we have a GCF of at least a 5. Now look at the variables. To the variables, is there a GCF of the variables? How many b's are in the first term? 2, because it's b squared. B squared is b times b. How many b's are in the second term? 1. So what do they have in common? What is my GCF? It is 5b. So I'm going to pull out a 5b out of each term by division. So what is 25b squared divided by 5b? 5b. Minus, what is 20b divided by 5b? It is 4. This cannot be broken down any further because 5b to the first power cannot be broken down. You all understand that? Any questions over that? The last GCF problem is this right here. So do I have a GCF? Please look at the entire thing and tell me what the total GCF is. There is one, Faith. What is it? x. There is not a numerical GCF because there's not a number that goes into both 7 and 25 other than 1. So therefore, the only thing you have is going to be the variable GCF, which is going to be x. So if I pull an x out of each of those terms, what remains? What is 25x squared divided by x? 25x. And what is 7x divided by x? Just 7. Okay, you're pulling an x out of the x squared. So what remains is only one x on the inside. Does everybody understand that? Yes. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to factor. Okay. When you factor, you're going to write down your problem. You're going to check for a GCF. You're going to pull out the GCF if one exists, and you're going to factor the two binomials if at all possible. And then if it's not, you're going to write irreducible. Do we understand that? That's your goal today. Now, it looks like you have a ton of notes, but in reality, we're doing one problem twice, two different ways. This is a review problem from yesterday, so I want everybody to quickly do this problem. Go. Do I have a GCF? Do I have a GCF? No, so I'm going to go immediately into two binomials. How do I split up x squared? X and x. I need to look at the last term sign, which is a negative, so that means I have a plus minus, and I'm going to subtract. Then I need to find my factors of 14, which are going to be 1 and 14, and 2 and 7. And what do they need to add up to? They need to give me a 5. The only way that's going to happen is if the 7 is negative and the 2 is positive. This is what you should have gotten. How many people got that on their own? Good job. Do we understand that? That was review from yesterday. We're going to skip the next problem. We're going to go straight into today's assignment. Okay, today's assignment is what happens when I don't have a GCF. Do I have a GCF here? Do I have a GCF here? No, I do not. There is not a number or a variable that goes into every one of those. Do we all understand that? Okay, so then the next thing you need to know is how do I factor this into two binomials? Well, the way we're going to do this is with a lot of logic. So we're going to go to two binomials, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 2x squared. Well, yesterday we wrote down x squared. We didn't have a number attached to it, did we? Today we do have a number attached to it, so we have to ask ourselves, what are the factors of 2? The factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Does that make sense? The only way I can get a 2x squared is if I use the numbers 1x and 2x and multiply them together. So I'm going to have a 2x and an x. Do we all understand why I'm using those? To obtain 2x squared. Okay? The next step is we went down here and we looked at the sign. I need to have a positive outcome, so that's a plus plus or a minus minus. How do I know which one to utilize? Look at your middle sign. Your middle sign is a positive, so that means I'm going to be using plus plus, which means I am adding. Yes? Do we understand that? Okay, the next thing is that I need to find my factors of 12. My factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Do you agree with what I just said there? Now, when you put those numbers in those last spots, you will either put the numbers 3 and 4, or 4 and 3, or choose the next pair, 2 and 6, or 6 and 2, or choose the first pair, 1 and 12, or 12 and 1. We all understand that. Now, when you do this, you are always going to check inner and outer. Does everybody understand what I just said? And I want you to be logical with this. Now, there's some rules that apply. When I asked you at the very beginning of this problem, I asked you, do you have a GCF? What did you all say? No, you don't have one. If I choose the numbers 3 and 4, which you always want to choose the closest numbers that are factors together, the closest factors are what you will use over 95% of the time, okay? If I use those factors and I put a 4 right here, does that look funny to you? Why does that look funny? Because it looks like there's a GCF, but you told me previously that there was not a GCF in the original problem. So why can I just decide to make one there? Can I do that? No, which means that 4 cannot go there. that means that 4 has to go over here, leaving the 3 to go there. Does that make sense? So if I go ahead and I do inner gives me a 3x, outer gives me an 8x, and when I add them together, I get 11x. Is that what the middle term is supposed to be? Yes. So therefore, if I were to FOIL these two sets of parentheses, I will obtain the original problem, which is 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. That is the first way. This method is going to be the best way for you to factor quickly and confidently, especially when moving on later on in math. The next method is what we call the AC method. And if you were taught this, they probably gave you an X, and they told you to put the 2, which is the A, and the C over here, which is the 12. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to find A, B, and C. A is 2, B is 11, 12 is C. And what they do is they then want you to go ahead and put the A over here, the C over here, and then they want you to multiply them together. So what is A times C? It is 24. So they want you to put the 24 up there. Then what they want you to do is go ahead and put into 2 parentheses, X and X. You're going to look at the sign. It's a positive, right? So if it's a positive, do you want plus, plus, or do you want minus, minus? Which one is it going to be? Plus, plus, because that's what we have in the very first sign. Then you have to obtain 11. So I want you to find all the factors of 11, or I should say of 24. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. Which of those factors will give you 11? What was that? 3 and 8. So we're going to use 3 and 8. We're going to put 3 divided by and 8 divided by. And what you're going to divide them by is your A value. What is your A value? 2. Now here's my question to you. Can I reduce 3 divided by 2? Can I reduce that at all? No. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this 2 and you're going to slip it out in front of this x. So that's going to be 2x plus 3. Can I reduce 8 divided by 2? What's 8 divided by 2? And that gives you x plus 4. Now we've done exactly the same thing with this problem that we have over here. We just did it a whole different method. How many people like the first method better? I figured as much. I prefer the first method. The second method just is too lengthy for me. How do you get they have to equal b, yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the next 2 problems together. Here we go. Same exact 2 problems. Going to do both methods. Do we all understand that? So here we go. Do I have a GCF? I do not. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to break up 3x squared. So how do I break up 3x squared? What are my factors of 3? 1 and 3. Do I have any other choice? No. So I'm going to have a 3x and an x. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look at the last sign. The last sign says it has to be what? Negative. So if it's negative, that means my signs must be opposite and I'm going to subtract. Does everybody see that? Yes or no? Okay, if I'm subtracting, my signs have to be opposite. But if I put them in the wrong order, then I'm going to have to swap them and erase them, right? So I'm going to leave that for last. Does that make sense? Okay? Now I need to find my factors of 20. 1 and 20. 2 and 10, 4 and 5. What did I tell you to use generally? The 2 closest factors. So what are my closest factors here? 4 and 5. So if I'm using my closest factors, I'm going to use 4 and 5. So I'm going to check to see if I'm allowed to put the numbers in a certain spot because I don't want to create a GCF when I know there's not supposed to be one. Yes? Can I put the 4 in the first spot? Sure. Can I put the 5 in the first spot? I could put the 5 there as well. My question is which one's more beneficial? Well, let's think this through a little bit. Okay? I need to obtain a 7 by subtracting. Okay? If I put the 5 on the outside in this position, if I put the 5 there, 5 times 3 is going to give me what number? Is that going to be close to 7? Well, what if I put the 4 there instead of the 5? What's 4 times 3? Is that closer to the 7? Yes. So if I put the 4 there and I put the 5 here, I'm going to have inner is a 5x, outer is a 12x. And what do I need to obtain? I need to subtract, and I need to get a positive 7x. So in order for me to get a positive 7x, that means my 5 has to be negative and my 12 has to be positive. Does that make sense? The 5 is going to be a negative number right here. Sorry. And this is going to be a positive number there. That's a terrible 5. Okay? So we have 3x minus 5 times x plus 4. Now let's do the same thing again over here with a different method. Are we ready? You're way too comfortable. Okay, what is A? A is 3, B is, and C is negative 20. Negative 20, yes? Okay. So I want you to take A times C. Well, what is A times C? That's 3 times negative 20. Do we see that? Which gives me negative 60. So I'm going to have an x plus and an x plus. And yes, you want them both to be plus. And the reason why you want them to both be plus is because I'm going to put negative 60 in as my factors. Does that make sense? So I'm going to come over to my factor finder. And I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to put negative 60. Now, I want to obtain what middle number? 7. Which of these factors are going to give you a positive 7? 1 and 60, no. 2 and 30, no. 3 and 20, no. 4 and 15, no. How about 5 and negative 12? Well, 5 and 12 would work, but the 12 was negative, so I should make the 5 become negative, right? So how about positive 12 and negative 5? So if I put positive 12 divided, negative 5 divided by, what am I dividing them by? A, and what is A? 3. What is 12 divided by 3? 4. So that's going to give you an x plus a 4. Parenthesis, can I reduce negative 5/3? No, so this 3 goes out in front. 3x minus a 5. Do we see that that's exactly the same concept? Yes or no? Let's do it again. Okay. Do I have a GCF? No, I do not. Since I do not have a GCF, I'm going to go right into 2 binomials. Factors of 7 are 1 and 7, correct? Do I have any other choice? Nope. So this is going to be a 7x and a 1x. Then, what is my outcome of my 12 that I need to be? I need a negative 12, so my signs are going to be opposite, which means I'm subtracting. What are my factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. What did I say to use normally? Closest together. Well, let's logically put this in with our head, yes? If I put a 4 over here, that's going to be 4 times 7, which is going to be 28. Is that going to give me 8 anytime near? No. Well, what if I put a 3 over there and have 3 times 7? What's that going to give me? Is that going to help me to get close to 8? So what can you conclude about the factors 3 and 4? Probably not going to help. So now let's use 2 and 6. Where would I logically put the 6 at? You'd put the 6 in with the 7 and put the 2 over here. This gives me a 6x. This gives me a 14x. I need a negative 8x. How do I get a negative 8x? Making the 14 negative, and I obtain the 14 by having 7 times 2 and 6 times x. Do we all understand that? Do we all understand why I did not use 3 and 4? And why we chose 2 and 6 instead? Okay, let's do this the other method. Immediately find A, B, and C. What's A, B, and C? 7, -8, and -12. So A times C is going to be 7 times -12, which is -84. Two big binomials. This is going to be x plus and x plus. Come over to your factor finder. And what am I typing in there? -84. And what do I want it to equal? -8. So what are my factors that are going to give me -8? Anyone? Yep. How about -14 and +6? So this is -14 division, +6 division. What goes underneath of them? A, which is going to be 7. So what's -14 over 7? So that's going to be x minus a 2, parenthesis. Can I reduce 6 over 7? No, so what's that going to give you? 7x plus 6. Do we understand that, yes or no? Okay, I'm going to skip down to the last couple problems that I want to go over with you. Look at this one right here, 15x squared plus 29x plus 12. Okay, doctor, do I have a GCF? No, I do not. So, two binomials. Factors of 15 are 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. What do you think we should use? 3 and 5. So I'm going to use a 3x and a 5x. I need to have a positive 12. So that's plus plus or minus minus. What is that going to be? Plus plus. And I'm going to add. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. What did I say you should probably use first? Closest together. Now, where can I put the 3 at and where can I not put the 3 at? I cannot put the 3 with the first parenthesis with the 3x because that'll give me a GCF, and you guys told me there was no GCF. So that means the 3 has to go to the right and the 4 has to go first if they work. Inner gives me a 20x. Outer gives me a 9x to give me a 29x. Is that what I needed? Do you understand why I kind of prefer this method over the AC method? I think it's so much easier. Okay, last one. I'm going to pass out your homework while you guys are doing this one. What do we do with this first? Why is this one different? What's that? You are going to multiply everything by a -1 to make that become positive like we did last night. Yes? Then you're going to go through the same process that you have been doing the entire time. So if I factor out that -1, that is going to give me 14x squared plus 3x minus 27, correct? So with that being said, what are the factors of 14? 1 and 14, 2 and 7, what do you think we should use? 2x, 7x. I need to have a -27. So what's that say about my signs? They are going to be opposite and I'm subtracting. Yes? Okay? With that said, I need factors of 27. 1 and 27, 3 and 9. Which one do you think I'm going to use? 3 and 9. Now, where should I not put the 9? I should not put the 9 with the 2x because that's 9 times 7, and that's going to give me 63. That's going to be a huge number. That makes 0 sense. So I'm going to put the 9 over here, and I'm going to put the 3 here. Inner gives me a 21x. Outer gives me an 18x, and I need to obtain a positive 3x. So how do I get a positive 3x? You make the 18 negative. That means the 9 becomes the negative, and the 3 becomes the positive. Tonight's homework is worksheet 2. You need to make sure that you have attached and done all of worksheet 2 tomorrow whenever you come in here. We are doing nothing but You too. Show all your work tonight.